obviously, you know, it's friendly-ish up here, but stand by, of course, you believe your man won in Riyadh and confident he can win on May 17th.
Yeah, of course, it was a cracking fight. I think Dave proved a lot to himself because in the past, he'll admit it, he hasn't committed himself 100%, and he did to that camp, and the performance spoke for itself. Thought it was unlucky. I thought we deserved to get the win. I thought it was quite easy fight to score. Thought it was a fight of two halves, and the knockdown got at us. But you know, can't cry over spilt milk, and we're here again. Like you say, it's a cracking fight. You don't really need to sell it because of the first fight. It's a fight between two great guys. The teams are great. We don't have to sell it in that sense. It's just going to speak for itself, and may the best man win.
When you look back on that first fight, obviously you say, you know, fight of two halves, but Dave dropped Johnny, had him in trouble in there as well. Is there any regrets maybe that didn't put the foot on the gas a little bit? And is it a case of injecting that belief into Dave Allen, which clearly he'll have after that first fight?
He came back to the corner, Eddie, after the fifth round, and he had a look on his face what I'd never seen before, and it was like the penny had dropped. He realised that the hard work and stuff what he put into camp was all starting to come to fruition. Now, he was probably 60% in that camp because of the starting point where he got from. He's near enough in the same physical shape in terms of fitness that he was when he finished, because he had a couple of weeks off over Christmas and then was straight back in the gym, which is unheard of for Dave. So he's got that love for the sport back again. He's loving training, and that means that by the time the fight comes around, he's going to be in a much better position to perform than he has been in the past. But by the way, I know Johnny Fisher is going to be much better as well, because Johnny's not as experienced as Dave, so those experiences, what he's got from the first fight, are going to make him much better as well. So that means that, in theory, both guys are going to be better, and we're going to get a better fight.
Are you surprised that Team Fisher took the fight? I mean, if you were training him and looking after him, would you have looked to have one in the middle, or obviously a lot of pressure to take the fight as well?
There's two sides to it, and I was, when people was asking me if I think they're going to take it, I was really unsure. I said they might just go straight back in because they know they're going to get their lessons from it. They might want one in between, but there's always, you know, in heavyweight boxing, the potential banana skins all the time. So that one little tick-over fight to get yourself back might pull away the rematch totally. So I'm glad they took it. You know, it's great. It's great for us. It's good for them, and it's great for boxing fans because it was a good fight last time, and it'll be a better one this time.
And finally, quite unheard of that Dave Allen has 10 weeks of training camp. I think he said he was a bit scared at that. It might start in 4 weeks' time, but you know, you believe he'll be a much better fighter come May 17th, and a much more prepared fighter than he was in Riyadh last time.
Absolutely. His starting point's much better. It's just about managing it and making sure that he doesn't peak too early, get him through, get him some good sparring, and like I said before, may the best man win.
Thanks, Jamie. Mark Tibbs, welcome. It was a tough night at the office last time. I mean, such valuable experience at the same time as well, but obviously saw Johnny in a place that he's never had to go before. He showed immense toughness, a huge amount of resilience as well, and will, I believe, make him a much better fighter this time around.
Yeah, 100%, Eddie. Jamie's said it all, really. Listen, what he went through, that fight with Dave, everything clicked. Everything clicked from, you know, we've been in the gym 2 or 3 times since, and we're off to Vegas tomorrow to prepare for this fight, and no, it's Johnny would have learned a hell of a lot, and didn't do a lot wrong. It just got dragged into one or two like old man tricks, so to speak. Thought the referee was a little bit lenient with Dave, but no, I was happy with Johnny's performance, and I watched the fight, and we won the fight, and we officially won the fight. But you know, there's obviously, you know, split opinions, so we do it again. We do it again.
What's got to be different this time? You know, is it just to use your experience gained from the first fight? We know one of the problems with Dave Allen is he's incredibly tough and resilient, and he's not easy to put away, and you know that at some point he's going to drag you into that type of fight again.
Well, will he drag us in? We'll see. So it's not, we don't need to talk about tactics, Eddie, with all due respect, but there's not a lot. It's more about Johnny realising a few things. You know what I mean? And he would have realised this now, and there's a couple of, little tweaks that both sides are going to make, and therefore, like Jamie said, that makes a better fight.
And as I said to Jamie as well, 10-week camp, they believe you'll be in a much better place for this fight, but you expect your man to win more convincingly this time on May 17th.
Listen, 100%. I live and breathe. I live and breathe boxing because I'm a winner, yeah? I wasn't happy with winning like we won, so we will draw the line under the Dave Allen Fisher 2, for sure.
Thanks, Mark. Dave, welcome. We're up here, top table, main event. You said that, you'll be headlining in London. You said you'd do that again after beating Lucas Brown at the O2. Bit of a come down for you, the Copper Box, after headlining at the O2, but you're here. Looking forward to the fight. Surprised that you're here as well? I think your comments after the fight were kind of leaning towards you don't think he should take this fight and wasn't sure if he would.
Yeah, I'm surprised to be headlining a show again, to be honest. Yeah, I couldn't believe when I headlined the first one. This is probably more shocking, to be honest. So, yeah, I'm glad to be here and grateful to be here. Thanks to probably Johnny, first of all, giving me the opportunity for the Saudi fight. I took that with both hands. And now we're back again, yeah. So I told him after the fight I probably wouldn't do it again so soon. I don't think 4 or 5 months is enough to bridge the gap in beating me comfortably. I've not really had a proper fight for 6 years. And as soon as I got back in the gym after the fight, I felt great. So I feel almost young again. I feel ambitious. I feel like a different man. I feel like a young kid again, but this time I've got a brain. So yeah, I'm really excited for it, and I fully expect to win. Yeah.
Did that fight give you the belief maybe that you didn't have? I mean, going back to the second half of that fight, do you have any regrets about not putting your foot down on the pedal a little bit more? I know you were tired.
My foot was down. Yeah, it couldn't go any further down. My foot was on the floor. Yeah, I was knackered. So, no, there's no excuses. I put him over in the 5th. I tried to finish it, probably tried too hard, really. With my experience, I probably should have given myself a bit more room, and I probably could have finished it, but you get excited. I was in Saudi Arabia about to knock this kid out, and I thought, wow, let's just get it done now. So I've got no regrets. It was what it was. He did amazingly well to tough it out, and he saw the final bell. And people like the decision, I've watched it back, I thought I won the fight, but the fella hung in there for 10. He gave himself that chance to get the decision, which he got. So it is what it is. When the decision was announced, I'm not going to get irritated by it because it's out of my hands. And I knew I'd get an opportunity, Eddie, because I know you'd look after me, regardless of Fisher or not. So it's not for me to worry about. So we do it again. The first fight's been and gone, and we'll see what happens the next time.
I know that you've definitely enjoyed your horses over the years, and I know you understand the odds markets and the betting markets. When you're laying a line for this fight, is Dave Allen the favourite going into the rematch?
It's difficult, because I've tried to look at it. I've tried to look at it myself. How would I price this up? What do I think about if I was looking at? I always try and look at things from the outside looking in. I've got a YouTube channel, David the White Rhino Boxing. So yeah, I always try and look at things. It's like Tyson Fury watched John McDermott a long time ago, and John McDermott, everyone thought he won the first fight. Tyson came back and stopped him. There's a lot of young kids take a lot from first fights, and they improve past the old man in the second. I just don't think I'm an old man yet, really. I probably look younger than Johnny as well. So, do you know what I mean? So, I think I've got loads left in the locker, and I fully expect to win. But I know it's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. Hello, Betty. Me and Johnny could box 10 times. I think it'd be 10 good fights, and I think there'd be close fights because, yeah, I know I'm not a superstar, but I don't think this fella is. At least not yet. So we're gonna have another good fight. It'll probably be a close fight, but probably another fight of the year candidate. Yeah.
When he fought Alan Babbage at the Copper Box, there was about 6,000 there. This time, obviously, there'll be the full 7 and a bit, whatever it is. The atmosphere was good in Saudi, but obviously it was early on in the night. Yeah. Are you excited? I mean, the atmosphere for this fight is going to be absolutely mental at the Copper Box. Are you excited to fight in that kind of cauldron as well? And do you think that will change anything in the fight?
Not really, no. It doesn't really bother me. I've been doing this game a long time. The first time, watched Dylan White at Leeds Arena once, and I did shit myself that time. That was a new experience. But I mean, I boxed White and Ortiz, boxed all the best. I went to France to watch Tony Oka. The French were mad. I couldn't believe it. I thought the French should be quiet. God, it was mad over there. So I realised the support will be heavily in Johnny's favour, but realistically, I don't care. It's a boxing match, so the best man will win, and that's all it comes down to.
And finally, I know you've been up, down, up, down, up, down in your career, but 10 weeks out, headlining in London, huge fight, excited for camp and fully confident you win in style this time.
I wouldn't say I'm excited for camp. I'm not really. I'm not that excited, really. It's hard work, isn't it? I've got Nigel Travis for 10 weeks. It's not. Yeah, it's going to be fun. But no, it's, obviously with Jamie and Nigel, it's just changed things completely. I don't wish I went there really, because my life would be completely different. But I wish, you know, I've got my kids. Obviously they're here today. I wanted to bring them, and my life's completely different now. I enjoy everything now. So yeah, we're going to train hard for 10 weeks, and I firmly believe I win the fight. Yeah, I'm not really one for being overly confident, but I think I win the fight. Yeah.
And my final question to you: I know you manage fighters.
Yeah.
You're in the reverse role. You're managing Johnny Fisher. Do you take this fight?
Well, it's too late now, son. We're here, so it is what it is. It will be a hell of a fight because we're evenly matched. We are evenly matched. It's going to depend on how he takes it. If he comes to box, I make him probably a 10 to 11 shot. If he comes to fight, he's 1,000,000 to 1. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, Johnny, 1,000,000 to 1. If you come to fight, I know that you two are never going to fall out, but it was friendly first time around, and a lot to prove this time. Some criticism as well for the first time in your career. A massive night ahead at the Copper Box, May 17th.
Thank you, everyone, for being here and covering this event. We appreciate it. And, yeah, I was nice in the build-up to the first one. I'm always going to be respectful. I'm always going to be a sportsman, but I can't be lulled into that this time. Last time I probably was lulled into that a little bit. And at the end of the day, it's two men going to try and render each other unconscious. So I've got to be fully switched on. Was I fully on that 110% mark like I was for my fights previously? Subconsciously, probably not. And I paid the price in. Yes, I won the fight. I believe I won the fight. But it was closer than I want it to be, and it won't be that way this time.
What you've always had throughout your whole career, that doesn't change, is incredible support. But probably for the first time, you faced a controversial decision where people had mixed opinions, and you got some stick, you got some criticism. Did that surprise you, or how did that make you feel at the time?
Not really, because that's the nature of human beings. That's the nature of the sport of boxing. If you buy a nice new car, people say, oh, look at that flash boy, he's got a new car. If you buy a new dog, people have a go at you for that. If you put a deposit on a house, people have a go at you for that. So whatever you do in life, if you start making your way, you're going to get people who are trying to discredit you. I have no dispute or argument with people who score it closely and edge it to Dave, because that's their opinion. But when things go hysterical, that's when you can't pay any attention. And the only people I need to pay attention to is my trainer to the right of me, Jimmy Tibbs, Sonny Cannon, and my mum and dad, because they know me better than anyone else.
When you finished the fight, I mean, you were both exhausted. I know you had a badly damaged ear in the fight as well. You went to hospital. At what time do you start thinking about running it back? For me as a promoter, the first thing I'm thinking when you two get out the ring is this rematch is massive.
Yeah.
I know as a fighter, you've also got Mark, you've got Adam, you've got your dad. Everybody's got to come together. But when you see that criticism, when you see that bit of controversy, for yourself and in your mind, I kind of got the impression you always feel that the rematch was next.
Every night from when I went to bed after that fight, I thought about it. And I didn't make a rash decision. I let it stew in my mind, let it fester, and let it breathe and let it be what it is. Spoke to Adam, spoke to Mark, spoke to my dad. And it's when I spoke to my dad, we was having dinner, and I said, I can't be a real man if I don't come back and run this fight back, because I know I can do it a lot better. And I know I can do a better job of it. And we got to give the people what we want. As professional heavyweight boxers, people want to see bloodthirsty fights like that. And I'm ready to do it all again, because that's what I'm trained to do. That's what I was born to do.
When you talk about that experience that you had in Riyadh as well, obviously as a fighter you don't really want to go there too often, but you did. You come through the other side, you showed fantastic mettle as well. Yep. You feel yourself now back in the gym, as Mark said, just a different kind of fighter already with that kind of experience.
I do, and I've got to say, in that situation I was on wobbly legs. My balance was gone from the sort of round 2, round 3. I thought that shot on my ear, what I've never really had before. And I know if I had someone in that position, they'd be gone within 30 seconds. So if you can't get me out of there when I'm like that, there's going to be absolutely no chance when I'm firing from all cylinders in 10 weeks' time.
Dave says that if you come to box, you're a even money favourite, and if you come to fight, you're 1,000 or 1,000,000 to 1 on. But got to be smart in there. But we still expect Johnny Fisher as we know him, which is if you get the opportunity, you try and close the show.
Well, I had no base in that fight from the knockdown, and I thought I didn't. It was just instinct. I was fighting back. I actually won the rest of that round in round 5. I came back, and as Dave said, we're both shattered at the end of that round. And yeah, it wasn't 1,000,000 to 1 there because I got to the final bell, and it will be a completely different story this time. I can fight and I can box, and I'm going to marry both up and do both at the same time.
Saudi, an incredible experience for everybody. Was a great atmosphere, but it's not the same as what we will see on May 17th at the Copper Box. The Babic fight was wild. This is going to be on another level. Yeah. Looking forward to that ring walk and that atmosphere.
Yeah, definitely. Being in Saudi Arabia, the hospitality was great. We had a great experience over there to be on such an iconic card. But there is nothing like fighting in front of the British boxing public. And my army, the Romford Army, is unique as well. People come from all over the country, all over Europe, and it will be absolutely rocking in there. And I can say it won't have an effect on me, and it won't, but it won't, and it won't play into the fight, but that lifts me. I've had it since my full fight, being at Ali Pali in the O2, and it does give me another semblance of strength, and I've got that army of people behind me. And West Ham. The West Ham massive there.
Stratford.
That's it.
East London.
It's our home.
Amateur debut there.
Yeah. It's our spiritual home. East London, where my dad's roots are, my family are brought up there, and it feels like home when I'm in that area. So I believe in God, and He'll be with me on that night.
Well, thanks, John. And before we break for a head-to-head, just want to get a couple of words. I know that it's always a case of we'll see on the night and any means necessary, but I always ask this question, and I just appreciate the honesty that in your heart of hearts, Jamie, obviously you're backing your man. How do you expect him to win? You believe he wins this fight inside the distance in your heart on May 17th?
I think he can. I think, you know, he proved that he can hurt him last time. His engine will be better this time. So regardless of whether it's by stoppage or on points, which, you know, before that fight, I would have said Dave will have to knock him out. But now I can see his engine's building and he can win it on points or by knockout.
And Mark, I know that this man's got a great chin as well. You've got to have your man to be smart in there as well, but confident he could do it inside the distance as well?
I'm very confident Johnny's going to do a vicious, spiteful job in breaking Allen down, David down. Vicious, with plenty of life. There's only one man that's going to get off balance, and that's Dave Allen.
Dave, in your heart of hearts, and I know, you know, you might say, ask me on the day.
Yeah,
but when you watch this fight, do you win inside the distance?
It's a long way away, to be honest. It's 72 days away. I've got to go and train hard. I've got to get up get out of bed the right side that day. I think I'm just a better fighter, to be honest. I'm doing this a long time. National amateur champion. Sparring partners to all the world champions for the last 10, 15 years. Box everybody. Yeah, and I've got a bee in my bonnet. Like, I've been a good fighter for a long time, and everyone, I've kind of been a laughing stock, and it's like, and I got to a point and I thought, I don't like that. So yeah, I will win the fight, 1,000,000%. I'll knock him out as well. Don't come from a bad place. It's just, it's sport, but I'm on a different level completely.
And Johnny, is it by any means necessary, or would you love to close the show in front of a sold-out Copper Box May 17th?
Winning in life is the one thing that matters. Of course, a knockout is always what I'll be looking for, and if it's there, I'll try and take it. But there's one difference in this fight. I'm willing to leave it all in that ring and get flattened on the floor. We've seen before that Dave's willing to go back to the corner and quit in the corner. I'm willing to leave every single ounce of my body in that ring and my soul.
I think they both go into this rematch taking confidence away from that first fight. I really do. Johnny, because he ticks so many boxes, you know, he proved to himself that he can dig it out and go to that dark place. And Dave, that he can finally put in a performance like that. So he can build from this now with the team that they both got behind them. With what we see in that first fight, this promises to be another blockbuster.
Okay, here we go then. This is called The Inquest. Many felt Dave had just done enough in December, and live on the Zone, May 17th, he has another chance to right what he feels was wrong. Johnny Fisher looking to put the conversations to bed in knockout fashion. Fisher Allen 2, the rematch, May 17th, London, live on the Zone. Based on everything, Darren Barker. Ability, pressure, controversy, whatever you want to put into this fight, ultimately all that matters is what happens in the ring. Who do you make the favourite? Listen, I know this is a hard question. You've worked with Dave Allen. You know Johnny Fisher very well. But this is why you paid the big bucks, Darren Barker. Who is the favourite and why?
Well, look, in my opinion, Dave is the first fight. So you'd have to have him favourite.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.